What's up guys, JZ Aquatics here, and we're back with another video. I got a fish room update for y'all, and we're going to teach you how to reseal a large tank, So we're just going to go right into the fish room tour because it has changed a lot since the last video, and I cannot wait to show y'all. So we're going to do a room pan around just to show you what it looks like first, and then we'll go into the tanks. Not a whole lot of tanks in here, but I believe this is an 80 or 90 gallon. We've got a 40 breeder, a 20 long. These are 3 2.5s, a 29, a 20 tall and a 20 tall, a 10, 55 and a 75. This one is running. I just don't have all the air hooked up to it. All the tanks are running. I just need air to that one. But let's go into this one. This is my South American tank. So I've got red devil, convicts, I've got blood parrots, I've got chisel tooth, my big man, or female. I really don't know how to identify that one. But yeah, this one is the latest I've escaped, and I absolutely love it. I've got 2 sponge filters and a hang on back. But yeah. And then there's nothing in this tank because there's too much debris in the bottom. Like you can see it really well over here, but I want to get all that out. And I just have a hang on back with some lights set up for it. And then this one doesn't have air yet, but these two do. And it looks like that has come off the glass yet again. But I'm gonna set these up hopefully for shrimp. And then of course the swordtails. I have a guppy and a longfin danio and a corridora in there. But this is my swordtail breeding tank. I actually had to take, so the corkscrew valve that was in here has slowly died for some reason, and I'm redosing the tank a little heavier now, so maybe it'll come back. But all this corkscrew valve and that other plant back there came out of the 55 gallon that was right there, and I just threw it all in here because I know this tank can grow plants. So, and it has a really large light, so they should be fine, but they seem to be okay right now. I am testing to see if the roots will float and they'll like stay alive. They have been. It's been like 2 days and none of them have died yet, so but yeah, that's this tank. So the fish I have in here, the swordtails anyways, these are the neon swordtails. They get like that nice blue stripe into them, and I'm mixing them with, that's the father to basically every fish in here is the orange swordtails. And you can tell he's had some babies. Like there's a pineapple and there's one of his, but I'll see if I can find a mixed one. Can't find like a good mixed one right now. Like this little one coming up right here, that little one is a mix, and they have this nice white face. Oh, there's another one, but they have this nice white face to them, and I really like that, and I really want to keep breeding that strain out. So that's what I'm working with right now, and I want to take the babies out of there and put into this tank to grow out. I just have to redo this tank again. In this tank we have the baby convicts that I have left over. I think there's probably 8 baby convicts, and then I have 2 polar blues in here that I'm growing out. There they are. But those 2 polar blues will go into this tank once they're a little bigger, because those fish are bullies and I don't want them to die. Like I said, nothing in this tank. I still have to, I'm gonna gravel back it again because I reused this substrate and apparently did not wash it good enough. So I'm gonna redo all that. I'm gonna get those sponge filters set up today, and looks like it's at 72, which is really perfect. And then I have, of course, this is where I keep all my hardscape and socks, of course, but I have all this hardscape to work with for this tank, and I'm gonna get some more rock and sand for it too. And then we have this tank where I have corkscrew valve and this plant I have a lot of this plant and I really don't know what it's called, so I will look it up and find out. But this is where we have the gold Mickey Mouse platies. I only have a male and a female. Hopefully I'm gonna get some more if I can find somebody to buy them from. But they are about a month away from their breeding stage, so hopefully we'll get some babies out of them. I'll set this tank back up, but I need to take a razor blade to the glass because you can tell it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just like stuck into the glass. So this tank will be set back up. If we go to this tank, it's quite old, this tank is, but I think this is Christmas moss. I don't think it's Java moss, but it's been growing really well. I haven't turned the light on in a long time and it seems to do fine, but I think that's the Java fern back there, and this is some sort of crypt. I really need to learn my plants because I really want to get into them more, but there's no fish in this tank, just plants, and then they have been doing perfectly fine. I added some root tabs into it. I added 2 root tabs yesterday to here, to the Java fern in the crypt, so we'll see if that helps them or not. But this one's running on its own air pump instead of the giant air pump, which I will show you in a second. And then this tank, I have to I gotta add more substrate into it, but I only have 1 angelfish in here, and it's the one Autumn angel that I have left. The other one sadly passed away. Here he or she is. Super pretty fish, but I only have the one, and I really wanted to breed the Autumns, and I don't know, but the other one crashed, and this one's still okay. But I'm gonna get some more angels just to breed angels because I love the angelfish. But yeah, I'll give y'all a nice little pan around in the room. It's coming together really well. The tank that we are going to reseal today, I think we're going to put it right here. Yes, I have Legos, but we're going to put it right here where my shoes are, and we'll scoot this table over there. This tank is not set up, but this Anubias Nana is doing really well. This one does well. It's just got some dieback right now, but there's no fish in this tank. There's no filter, there's no heater, there's nothing going on in here except for the ambient room lighting, and it seems the plants seem to do okay. So I'm gonna see if I can't set this tank back up. Anyways, we'll go jump to the really mess of a other room real quick. Oh, before we do that, let me get this step ladder. These are all my buckets I've been using to fill up tanks and clean substrate. And the power almost went out last night, so I had to make sure I had all my bubblers out just in case. But I have all this up here to hide the massive air pump. That is the massive air pump, and I have this really long PVC pipe, and this powers the entire room, or is going to power the entire room. But it is so quiet, so much more quiet than the previous pumps I've had. And this one is just like one of those Amazon air pumps, but it's like the largest one you can buy, I think, or the second to largest one. But it's so far been really great. Like it's powering a whole bunch of tanks. I got to get the lines to this tank and that tank, but other than that, it's been perfect. It's way quieter, and I hope that helps for the videos I make, y'all. Put my ladder back. And this is like all the leftover pumps, and yeah, there's too many. I had way too many pumps in this room. I'm so glad I got that. So, and we'll probably set this up today too with air. I don't know, we might, I'm not sure. But let's jump to the other room. This room is a complete mess because I've been moving everything. Everything's a mess. So these 2 tanks, all the tanks out here are empty, no fish. I mean, I gotta take this rack down. I gotta take this rack down. I'm gonna start selling some of these tanks I don't need. I think there's still some minnows in here, actually. Yeah, there's some minnows right over there. I'll grab these guys later today and throw them out in the pond. But yeah, I was watching some YouTube videos out here. I got all kinds of stuff I need to take down out here. Yeah, it's chaos. But this is the tank we're going to reseal today. I think it's a 65 because it's built like a 55, but it's got the extra hex on the front. So it's either a 65 or a 75. I can't remember what the guy told me when I got it from him, but he said it did needed to be resealed. So there's two types of resealing in my opinion. So the first type, you'll have to take all the trim off the tank, you'll have to cut all the silicone out, and then completely reseal the tank. Or you can do it like I do it, and like right here, how this is like, you can take this off. So that line, that bead, you can take a razor blade and pull it off, or you can just use your fingers and like peel that off. Like if you can pull stuff like that off the silicone, do that, and then make sure it's like nice and smooth. And then what you're gonna do is get your silicone gun, and you're just gonna lay a nice bead over that, and then take a paper towel over your finger and just run the bead and smush it over it. And it's okay, you want it to look like the bottom does down here, how it kind of like overlaps. But it's really not that hard. Like the bottom of this tank is fine. We're just kind of to do like the edges, the corners, and just make sure to go all the way up with it. So, and it won't take but a few minutes. Just make sure the tank is completely dry. Like it has to be completely dry, no water whatsoever. This really nice piece of acrylic right here too, which is siliconed in perfectly. So the top is fine of silicone, but we are gonna have to do all these edges where this white silicone was, who I guess someone tried to reseal it and it didn't work. But that's what we're gonna do today. But it's a really nice tank. Has the doors on the bottom so it can store stuff. Maybe get a canister filter. I don't know, I've never had one before. Maybe we'll get one and try it out. But this is our main objective today. So I'm gonna put y'all into time-lapse mode, set y'all up somewhere, and we'll start sealing this tank up. But hopefully we can move it. This tank weighs so much. Like this is the heaviest tank I've ever had, and I hopefully want to move it into the other room. But we'll see. Let's just go ahead and jump into the time lapse and get to resealing it. Okay guys, so see how there's no white on this? I peeled all of this off, this whole crease, with my fingers, and I'm doing the same thing to this side. Like, look at that. Now this one, they actually done pretty good. I can't peel it off with my fingers, but I'm still going to reseal it, just to be sure. You can never be too careful. I haven't got to these two sides yet, but like this whole thing, I could probably peel this off with my fingers. Like that's not a good seal. Just to show you, I go to Walmart and I get this one. It's completely waterproof, 100% silicone. This is what I use on my tanks, and it works the best. It's the easiest thing to work with too. So, but just make sure, guys, that you get it in the crease. Like, make it look like this and not that. So, yeah. Okay guys, so these are the types of beads you can do. You can either do it like this and just glob it all the way up, or you can glob it, here I'll do this, you can glob it and then make sure you get it into that crease like this, this is how I prefer to do it, like this. I did all of these like that because it gets in the crease and then it's going to get outside the crease too. And if you want to, you can do right here on the outside if you want to. I usually don't, just because it's usually, if there's a steel sealant in here, it's going to be fine if you're sealing the inside. So let me go ahead and wipe this. Okay guys, so we're done sealing it, and now it's very important for you to wait 24 hours before you fill the tank up. And when you're checking on the sealant, if you touch it and it's sticky, you need to wait longer because you want it to be dry. You want it to look solid. But just wait 24 hours and you're usually good to go. So like by this time tomorrow, we should be good to fill this tank. But I think they kept some kind of, I don't know if you can see, but all the scratch marks, I think they kept some type of reptile in this tank. And it's supposed to, you know, it's a fish tank. But anyways, people do that, and that's okay. I'm not against that. But I just had to reseal it, and we should be good to go. But that should do it. We're going to go back to this other room. I'm gonna work in here some more later. But for now, we're going to focus on this room in here. Like, yeah. And I love how much quieter it is. It's so nice. But we're going to like take all this out, box it up, do something with it. I got all my packaging stuff back there too. That's like, just in case if I sell on Aquabid, I have this extra stuff laying around that I can bag the fish, I can insulate the fish, I can ship them in a couple different boxes, you know. But we're going to clean this out and then put, I think, the 10 gallon right here. So we'll have an extra 10 gallon for babies. But yeah, and then maybe that tank we resealed will go right here. The only problem is there's no outlet on the wall, so we'd have to run it from the one behind this tank. Which is fine. We could put a rug down right here so nobody could trip on the wire. But I don't really know if I'll do that yet. It may stay out there. It may go somewhere else. I don't know. But we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and clean this tank. And then we can set up the air for this tank. We can get it set up today. I want to get this one. Actually, I'll probably do these two in this corner. And then I'll do that one. I don't even know if I'll do that one in this tank, but if I do, I'll probably put it on this like piece of glass over here on the edge. I don't know, we'll see, because I have this big hang on the back working, so I don't really know. But we're definitely going to do these two sponges and build a cave out of this rock work like we did before in this tank. So we'll do that, and I'll show y'all how to clean all this out of the bottom real quick. So we'll take the lights off, and you see how this filter's got it all caught up in it. That's why you need the sponge intake to go on the filter so that doesn't happen. But where's it at? You need a net like this. So how this is like a super fine mesh, the mulm won't get through this. And the same for this tiny one. How fine it is. Where these have these big giant holes, the mulm can get through that. Even this one has bigger holes. You don't want that. You want something like this. So this is an old net, but I use it to get all the mulm out of tanks. So okay, I'll set y'all up and I'll start cleaning this and show you just how it works. Okay, I got me a bucket set up so that we can start doing this. But what you want to do is, there's actually some corkscrew valves still in this tank. I didn't even know that. But you want to just get your net and just scrape it on the bottom of the tank. And get as much as you can off the bottom before it stirs up the rest of the tank. Like that, right there. Let the water drain a little bit. And then you can just flip it into your bucket. See? Just like that. Then pull it back inside. And do the same thing. You can add water into your bucket if you want to. It makes it a little easier to shake out your brush. That's up to you. I'm gonna pull out this corkscrew valve that's under this rock. I'll pull these rocks up too, because you can tell on the rocks how like the mulm is kind of just taking over. There's a lot of dead duckweed in there too, so it's kind of just taking over. Like this rock's fine. See, that rock's fine. There's nothing on it, but we'll still clean it anyways, because that's just, you gotta clean them now. I don't even know if this corkscrew valve will still live. We'll just set him over here on the side of the bucket. Pull out this rock. Yeah, that one's not as bad as that other one, but they're still pretty bad. So then you can just come in here with your net, scoop it all off the bottom. And I guess this is mulm. I don't really know if I'm calling it the right thing, but it looks like mulm to me. Really nasty, but you could use a gravel back, but it's not gonna. This type is stuck to the bottom of the tank so good that the gravel back's not gonna get it. That's why I'm using the net. I was just thinking like they're gonna yell at me because I'm not using a gravel back. Like, duh, I'm stupid. But it's because it's stuck to the bottom of the tank. Because I didn't use this tank for a while and I didn't clean it after. I just filled it up. Which is fine. And if the net doesn't do it as well, you can just use your hand. I like to use my hand sometimes just to kind of feel where I'm at on the bottom of the tank. You could also just not even fill up the tank and clean it that way like a smart person. But you can do what I do too. And I'm just going to use my hand and stir the rest of it up off the bottom. And then we'll clean off the filter too. See how much is still left? That's why you should use your hand instead of the net too. And you could just add substrate and all this stuff would just kind of be that beneficial bacteria, that extra oomph to start your tank, unless it's dead plant, like dead duckweed like in here, then that's not going to help your tank really. It'll just be dirt in the bottom of your substrate. It'd probably help the plants that you'd add to your tank, but other than that, I'll go ahead and clean off the filter. You can see what comes off the filter. But I think I got it clean. Yeah. Okay. We'll just kind of let that settle with the net, or let that settle to the bottom, I mean, and then scoop it all up with the net, which won't be too bad. It'll just take a minute or two to settle. While we're doing that though, we can see we have enough airline and rock to set up the cave over here. And I will set y'all up over here. Which we'll have to move the thermometer to the side. We're going to take the lid off. That's why I'm moving all this stuff. And I do have driftwood in the top of this tank. I'm just waiting for it to sink. I've already boiled it and everything, so just waiting for it to sink really. What we could do, like, there. See how I've dirtied up the tank now. All that sand and stuff that was in the bottom. We use this rock as our kind of starting base in front of the sponges. We use this for the side. And then you need a rock to kind of go over the top, but not cover the holes where you're going to add your air filter or your air line. So we'll take one like this. Okay. And then we'll take this really big flat one. That was to level it out. So this one is just going to sit right on the top and make kind of like a fake cave. There we go. And now we can find some airline to hook it up. Hopefully I got enough airline. I need a towel too. I need to start keeping a bigger towel. Okay, let me see if I can find this airline real quick. I think these were gotta get my step ladder. But it's always good to have the air pump really high. That way you can do all this kind of stuff. Alright, let me get my scissors on my knife. So if you're reusing airline, see how this one has become bent and shaped to the form? You're going to want to cut this off so you can start with a fresh piece. Same for this, how this one's nice and dirty. We're going to cut it here. It's also really stiff. We're going to cut it here so it's flexible again. Make sure not to cut yourself if you're using a knife. You probably use scissors. See, you want it to look like this nice fresh start. But if you buy a brand new airline, you won't have that problem. But if you're running a budget system, like I'm trying, then you can do it like this. And then, these aren't going to be long enough. That's why we have check valves. That way, obviously you need to install a check valve to begin with. But when it's this high up, you don't need one. But when you're reusing line, this is not going to be enough line to reach my valves on the top. So I'm going to put this in the tank, hook it up, then I'll install check valves on the top of these lines and run line from the check valves to the other valves of the air. And that's how you're supposed to do it anyways, but there's no way that water could ever get in these lines. So sometimes I don't run it, sometimes I do. Sometimes I run an actual valve so that I can open and close the lines a little better. But so far, it's worked. Well, I'm just going to pull these sponges out, because apparently I can't do this under the water. Should be good to go. Put our top piece back on. And I'll dry myself off again. It's always fun working with a big tank because you got to get your whole arm in the tank. Okay, so we got that. This is why it pays off to have extra airline. Let's see if we can make it work. to cut a little more off of that one. Well, if I could get it to work, I would. There we go. I think I unplugged. We're good, we're good. I had to unplug one of them, so I want to make sure it was still on. Then we'll have to turn on the other side down here. There we go. Now we got those pumping. Running. Yeah, we're good. So you can barely see, but if you come to this side, we got them all pumping, and see how it's under that rock? It's just gonna pop them bubbles under that rock and push them that way to the corner. Then it's gonna, that circulation, as you can see, is filtering this stuff either back under, or it's gonna push it this way, and that filter is gonna catch it all. So that's really gonna help. We're still at a nice 72 degrees. That's looking good. But see, if you're using extra lines, sometimes you gotta work with them and cut a whole bunch of extra pieces off. But now that can go in the garbage. This is all my decorations and extra airlining and extra parts, and I need to throw this back into a tank, but I don't know which tank to put it in yet. Probably put it in this one, but I'm not sure. But I got it just for whenever I get more egg layers. And we know all these are trash. But yeah, now I got the nice airflow set up. All the tanks are running. This should clear back up within 30 minutes maybe. It's only because I moved the substrate. So, but yeah, we got a nice little cave system built. That's working good. So now I can come back over here, grab the ladder, put the ladder in the corner, get our bucket back up here. So that's all that nasty junk. Now we can go back to working on this tank, since it's all settled back into the bottom, and catch all the rest of it out. And if I can't catch all of it out, I'll get the gravel vac and vacuum it all out. But I should be able to get most of it out. We'll also try to get a bunch more of that dead duckweed out of there while we're doing this, because there is a lot of dead duckweed for some reason. But you see, if you didn't have that fine of a net, it'd be very difficult to do this. But this is, honestly, this is just if you didn't want to take your tank down. Like, I could take this tank down and reset it up and make it look a whole lot better. I just am being lazy and don't want to take it down and fill it back up and do all that. But that might just be what I do, you know? This might just be silly what I'm doing and I just need to take it down, you know? But even doing this and taking the tank down is perfectly fine because I'm still just cleaning the tank. So we'll let that settle back down and see if we can get some more big chunks. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I just wanted to come back and show y'all what all we've done. I mean, soon we're going to be getting fish, more plants, hopefully within the next week or two. But we're gonna get more angels, we're gonna get more live bears, we're gonna get a lot more plants. Like, I really want to get into a lot more plants and maybe even start selling them. I'd like to do a video of like breeding for profit. Like, I buy fish, I buy some plants, and then we go and see how long it takes and how much money we can make within that time period to actually buy, sell all the stuff in the tank, you know? How much money we put into the tank and chemicals, fertilizers, I don't know. It'll be a fun little project though. So we'll see. And if you stayed to the end of the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Happy New Year. It's 2024 and it's going to be a great year. I will see y'all in the next video.